Another hot and dry day. It's been the same for a few days now. More than a few. And no rain is forecast. I'm just trying to survive, I guess. Trying not to exert myself too much in this heat. And this too shall pass eventually. Okay. Nothing to do. Nothing to do, or should I say, nothing I want to do in this heat. So let's leave it at that. I'm taking after the cattle. When it's hot, I'll just stay cool in the shade, or in my case, inside the house. Yes, another hot one. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be near 100 here for the next few days. Yeah. But then it cools back down into the 80s again. But still hot today. Yeah, it's a hot day today. Yeah. But I'm surviving by staying out of the heat as much as I can. Yeah. There's a few things that I wanted to work on, but I don't feel like suffering in the heat. Most of the things I got to do is cut some weeds down, mostly in the big pasture. But I got some weeds in the behind the house too, in the bottom. But I'll get to that eventually. When it gets back down in the 80s again, I can tolerate that kind of heat, but not this type. Anything above 95, I try to avoid. The township mowed the sides of the road, the ditches. They do a pretty good job. It's a pretty big mower too. One of those wing things, double wing. Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah, you can see where it. Yeah. Anyway, too hot. Well, yeah, I saw him go by. Actually, I heard him go by. Then I came out to see. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, and they had an air-conditioned cab on their tractor. So something I wish I would have had. If not for me, I wish I would have had it for my wife when she was still with me and driving the tractor, baling the hay, square bale hay. Okay. Cause I'm off here. I'll go check the mail. I haven't checked the cattle for a few days too. I should. Even if I don't do any work, I should at least drive down there and make sure the cattle are okay. If it stays hot and dry like this for too long, I have to think about giving them some hay bales. But we'll see. We'll see. As long as the grass is growing, should be okay. Not sure if this grass is growing back very fast or not. I mowed that over a week ago. And I mowed that part a few days ago anyway. I forget, I don't know when, at least 3 or 4 days ago. And once I see this grass growing back enough for the cows to have something to eat, I'll mow another part of that area back there. But one section at a time. I gotta. Right now they're eating the weeds there, but once I mow that, I thought they were going to eat some of the weeds and stuff that I mowed. Stuff that's laying on top of the ground, on top of the grass. But I never saw them out there. They're still eating out in there though. Well, I'm standing up underneath my cedar tree, and I can smell the leaves or needles of the cedar. Smells good. Anyway, I can see the grass is really drying up a little bit. Just a little bit. But the weeds seem like they can tolerate the heat. So that's why I let them grow, because the cattle do eat them. Most of it. They keep it cut down. So if the cattle weren't here, I think these weeds would be really big. Where they came from, I don't remember them seeing them here last year when there was no cattle here. But they're here this year. I'm not sure if the seed comes in with the floods or not. When the creek overflows, it's hard to say. Maybe they were just waiting for the right conditions to sprout. Anyway, there's still grass underneath those weeds. But between the weeds and the grass, they got enough to eat. They're not mooing at me. When they get hungry, they'll moo. Okay. That's all for now. I need to clean up this area too. One of these days. But not today. Not today. Ponds are drying up too. It's even hot in the shade. Couple cows in the water. Bulls here, the other cows over there. Oh, boy, you sure got some horseflies on this back, on the back side there. I guess you can't chase them off while he's sitting down. Yeah, the insecticide that I use on the cattle rub, I don't think that affects horseflies so much. I'm not sure what the other flies eat on the cattle, sweat or something. I don't know if they eat blood either. They might. I know horseflies. Oh, she was laying down. That one was laying down in the water. I've never seen that before. She was laying down in the water. Oh, she's glad she's able to get up. Huh. I guess the water's not deep enough right there for her to cool her belly off. Yeah. She's standing in the water, but only her legs are in the water. So she laid down to get cooler. Huh. That tells you how low the water is in the pond. I don't see too many pears on this tree, but I see this one. I picked one over here the other day. It was okay. It was a little bit not ripe yet. There's another one over there. I'll leave that one for now. But I'm going to pick this one. I don't think the cattle will eat it. that high up, but I just want to taste. Yeah, I just want to taste. There aren't too many left on here that I can see. I can barely reach that. I can't jump like I used to. Well, there aren't too many pears left on. I think I see one or two other pears. There's one up there. I think there's one on the other side. I think I see one way in there. Yeah. There's a few left on that one. But this is a different variety here. I think they ripened earlier and they're all gone. They must have fell on the ground and the cattle picked them up, ate them. I don't see any more. Even at the top I don't see any. Yeah. This is a softer pear. It ripens earlier, which is a green pear. This is more of a brownish, greenish brownish pear. A little more firm, and it ripens later. I think there's another one up that way, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm not going to get much. Yeah. There's a few pears left on this one. As they get riper, they might fall off too. There's one out here. Yeah. I see 3 or 4. I might be able to get when they get ripe. Right now they're still a little green. But I got the pear I was aiming for. Nice looking pear. Still not quite ripe, but ripe enough to eat. It's a hot one today. I haven't recorded much in the last few days. Actually, I haven't recorded anything. I think today's what, 3rd day, 4th day? I'm not sure. It's just been too hot to do anything. And I'm getting lazy too. They call that a double webby. Anyway, a little cooler in the breeze, in the shade with the breeze, especially now that I'm sweating again. Yeah, just sweat coming outside. Doesn't take long. And I can go back in, stay cool. Still 92 at 7 p.m. In other words, it's still hot. There goes the neighbor's cat. Must have been eating the cat food here. Yeah, it's 7 p.m. Or it's after 7 p.m. and there's the cat. That's not the cat that was hanging close to the house here. That one runs away every time it sees me. Yeah. Probably going to go back down the road, I would think, to go back to its house. But it probably stopped somewhere. Yeah. But anyway, there's a cow down in the water. Under the tree, and there's one over there, still in the shade, and the other 2 are over here. It's cooled off a little bit. It was 98 earlier today, around 3 o'clock, and now 4 hours later it's 92. So it's not as hot as it was before. And they don't seem like they're very hungry. Looks like they're getting enough to eat. They're not mooing. Yeah. So they probably eat, go out, they'll probably be going out here pretty soon to go eat. That's their habit. As the sun gets low, they start going out to the bottom down there to eat. I came out to dump the kitchen garbage, so I'm going to do that now. Yeah, there's my cat. I'm guessing she still has her 2 babies, two kittens, but I'm not sure. I'm sure she does though. It's hard to see them anymore because they're in a spot where I can't access too easy. Yeah, there's the lemongrass. Right there is the container that I keep my garbage, my kitchen garbage in. And then I'm gonna go dump it. Or I always dump it in that corner. Oh, look over there. It's on a tree somewhere. I don't know what they're looking at. I guess they're looking at the cattle, I guess. Not sure. Anyway, there's the heron. That heron's been here before. Right over there. He just flew up onto that tree. Where are you going? Okay. The heron landed in that tree over there. That dead tree. I lost it now. Oh, right there. Right there, I think. Right there. It's hard to spot. It's in the shade. Yeah, see where that shade is there? The shade on that tree back in the background. Well, it's right there near the top of that shade. Yeah, it's just sitting in the tree. Anyway, this is where I'm going to dump the garbage, where I always dump it back there. But this sweet potatoes, the sweet potatoes I got out of the house during the winter, that grew in the house during the winter. And I'll probably do that again this year, just to have something green growing. Plus, I'm going to try to grow them again. I'll do them a lemongrass a little different this year, this winter. Yeah, more soil and less plant. Okay, and then that's that sweet potato here. It spread out pretty good. But then I had another sweet potato that sprouted in the house before I got a chance to eat it. And then I planted it on the other side, and it spread out too. So between those two, that's all sweet potato. Plus, I got a volunteer tomato, maybe two, I don't know, because I harvested some here a few days ago. I already ate them, and then they were about that size, about the palm of my hand size. And then today I picked 4 right in this area here, but they were really small tomatoes. I don't know if it's small because they're that variety, or if there's just not enough water for them to grow bigger. But anyway, the tomatoes are spread out into in between these. Yeah, there's some over there and there, but it's all coming out from this area here, just past that pot of garbage. Yeah, and I still got. Now I'm gonna go take a look. Anyway, I picked 4 small tomatoes, but it's only a mouthful for that. Yeah, I'm gonna dump this garbage right there like I always do. And those things there, those are volunteer papaya plants. Those are 3, 1, 2, 3, at least 3 or 4, at least 3 that I can see. I see 1 here and 1 there, 4, 3 on this end, maybe 5, and then 1 over there. But they're not going to amount to nothing, so I'm just going to let them grow. Let's dump it. Okay, that's done. Let me go rinse the pot. Well, garbage is dumped. And right there is the heron in that tree. It's hard to see from the camera, but I can see it with my eyes real good. Well, I guess that bird's running out of water too. Ponds are drying up. Or maybe it's easier when the ponds dry out because any fish in the water will be concentrated. Easier for the bird to find it. Fish and frogs and stuff. So anyway, it's been hanging around here all summer. This is about the 4th time I've seen it that I can remember. Anyway, sun's getting low. Cat's here. And I'm done. Bugs are biting me. Yeah, mosquitoes are out. Eating up my legs. Okay, that's it for today. According to forecasters, we're going to be like at least the whole weekend and maybe Monday too. 3 more days or maybe 4 more days of above 95, close to 100. So I'll be hang out in the house most of the time. Yeah. Although I might drive out to the big pasture and check the cattle and fences in the morning when it's cooler. I can do that. We'll see. Okay. Here's my tomato harvest, my second tomato harvest. If she gets out of the way. Come on, don't sit on them. Come on, get away. Shoo. That's better. Uh-huh. They're pretty small, but they're edible. Bully got up. Look at the cow. She's having her tongue hang out. How did she do it? I've never really seen them do that before. Hanging her tongue out like a dog. Is she catching flies? I can see a bunch of gnats around her nose. Gnats or flies or something. Bull's trying to get the horse flies off his back. Well, that's it for today. I gotta go. Back in the house where there's no bugs. There's no biting bugs, put it that way. Yeah, that's her water. That's where she gets water. I give her water up a little closer to the house too, but she always comes out here to drink for some reason. Well, that heron stood up in that tree right there. I can see it now, right there. Well, it's 7:30 p.m. and the sun is going down behind the trees. Actually, it's 7:35, but who's counting minutes? Yeah, so another day is done, and more hot days to come. At least for a little while. I think around Tuesday or Wednesday next week, it's supposed to be back down in the 80s again. So I'll wait till then to do some more work on the weeds. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold off until that to do any meaningful work outside. All right, that's it for today.